Welcome to the Fralin Spotlight Talks for YouTube. Before we begin, I encourage you to use these videos interactively. When you are prompted to observe, pause the video and look carefully. When the educator asks a question, feel free to pause the video again and discuss your observations and ideas, making sure to address what you see that makes you say that. Enjoy!
In this video, we'll be discussing two oil paintings, Venus and Zebra Farm Bus, both created by artist Jonathan Green in 1997. We'll start with closely looking at Venus. Let your eye wander around the painting. Start by looking at the figure in the middle. What do you notice? Then, let your eyes wander across the landscape. Move from the bottom edge of green grass, through the horizontal lines of water, all the way up to the top of the clouds and sky. What other details do you notice? What stood out to you first? What colors do you see? What patterns? If you're viewing this in a group, feel free to pause the video here and share your observations with a partner. If you're viewing this individually, feel free to write down some of your thoughts. Imagine you're standing in this scene. What noises do you hear? What do you smell? What do you feel? I noticed the different streaks of blue and white in the water, which makes me think I might hear the water splashing against the shore. I also noticed the blue sky and clouds. The brightness of the sky makes me think I might feel the warmth of the sun and a light breeze if I were standing in this scene. Now, let's move on to Zebra Farm Bus. Start at the bottom left corner of the painting and let your eye move to the right, following the layers of grass. Notice the three figures wearing hats. Follow them up the painting and into the greater landscape. What colors and patterns do you see? What sticks out to you first? Like before, feel free to pause the video to share your observations or write them down. Again, I'd like you to imagine that you're standing in this scene. What noises might you hear? Noises close to you? Other ones in the distance? What do you smell? How does it feel to stand outside in this scene? Now that we've had a chance to look closely at both paintings by Jonathan Green, let's pause the video to compare and contrast the two paintings. What is similar about the two? What is different? I noticed first that both paintings contain landscapes that use vibrant colors. While the sky and clouds are blended softly in Venus, the sunset of Zebra Farm Bus is geometric and fragmented with flat fields of solid color. I also noticed the clothes of the figures in both paintings. The one figure in Venus wears a veil covered in polka dots, while the group of figures in Zebra Farm Bus wear large hats. Neither of the paintings show the faces of these people. Why might the artist have chosen to hide their faces? What other similarities and differences did you notice? If you could describe the mood of each of these paintings using one word. What word would you use for each? The artist, Jonathan Green, bases his artwork off of his childhood memories growing up in the Gullah tradition, both a language and a culture rooted in the low country region of the United States, which includes North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, and the Sea Islands. The community formed from groups of enslaved West African people brought to the U.S. to farm rice, indigo, and cotton. The Gullah passed down traditions rooted in their African heritage, combining them with the new materials and resources found in the coastal United States. Connection to land is intertwined with Gullah culture. Jonathan Green's artwork celebrates his Gullah heritage and everyday traditions. His use of vibrant color is inspired by the landscape of his hometown, Gardens Corner, South Carolina. The greens and yellows of the grass, the dark blues in the movement of water, and the bright orange and reds of the sunset. Through his artwork, he intends to immerse his viewer in not only the physical environment, but the social community he spent so much time in as a child. He paints people he remembers from his childhood, often dressed in large sun hats and loose fabrics blowing in the wind. He provides brief glimpses into Gullah culture, sharing memories of people and places significant to him. If you could ask the people in these paintings a question, what would you ask? What might have gone on right before the moments depicted in these paintings? In the moments after? Green honors his Gullah heritage by capturing the everyday life of his community through his own unique perspective. What story might you want to share about your heritage or community? Take a minute to write about a part of your identity that is important to you. Is it a special place? An important family tradition? A certain type of clothing? Thank you so much for taking the time to view both Venus and Zebra Farm Bus. I hope that the work of Jonathan Green has inspired you to think about the environment around you and the beauty you may find within it.
We hope you've enjoyed this Writer's Eye Spotlight Talk. Please reach out to the Education Department with any questions or feedback. Our email is museumoutreach@virginia.edu.